All right, so welcome to the next lesson. So, what exactly is cryptocurrency? Now, in order to really understand this, I want to go back a couple slides here to show you what cryptocurrencies are actually built on. Cryptocurrencies are built on top of blockchain technology. So, and to make a comparison here so that it really becomes crystal clear. Now, Ethereum is a blockchain that we can build decentralized applications and NFTs and cryptocurrencies on top of, right? So think of it as like, building on top of a tech stack, which is Ethereum. So Ethereum has its own coding language so that developers can code and program cryptocurrencies and NFTs and applications directly on top of Ethereum. In a similar way that individuals can code and build applications on top of something like iOS or Android OS or Windows or what have you, so that you can have applications on top of your computer or phone system or whatever there to download it from the App Store. So fairly similar. All the tech guys are probably going to yell at me saying it's completely different, but for the sake of comparison, this is the easiest comparison that I found to really drive that point home. Now, the one thing that's very different between building on iOS or building on a platform that allows you to upload to iOS or however that really works, with Ethereum, you are actually able to have sovereign ownership of the digital assets that are actually on there via your crypto wallet, which I'll talk more about that in the next couple lessons. But to dive into more about cryptocurrency, I want to first compare it to stocks. So you've probably heard of the term tokens, cryptocurrencies. For all intents and purposes, I just want you to view them as the same thing. People will provide backlash to that, saying that ERC20s are tokens and Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency and all that stuff there, but it doesn't matter. What we label them really does not matter. Just know that whenever you hear tokens, that a token is either going to be a cryptocurrency or an NFT. A cryptocurrency is what we call a fungible token. A NFT is a non-fungible token, but I'll break that down more later. Now, I want to first compare cryptocurrency or tokens to stocks real quick. So let's say we have two empty cups. On the left side, we have value, and we want to pour value into these cups, okay? Now, a cryptocurrency is a blank slate that we can add any type of value into that we want to. So that could look like a number of things. While a stock is very stagnant stocks, right? You can't really do much with them. Stocks are always going to be equity in a business, and no more, no less. That's the entire use case for stocks, is for it to house equity in the company. So when you purchase shares, you're purchasing equity in a company technically. Now, that's the only thing. You can't take those stocks to go invest those stocks into something else to earn passive income on those stocks, unless if you're earning like a dividend, which is not an external thing that you do. It's just something that they provide to their shareholders as a company. Now, with cryptocurrency or tokens, if you will, these businesses can add whatever value into these cryptocurrencies that they want. Now, what are some different examples of this? Governance, for example, right? There are a lot of cryptocurrency companies out there where the main goal of their company is to become a fully decentralized entity. The cryptocurrency Web3 blockchain world is all about creating a decentralized internet. So it's very within the ethos of Web3 for these cryptocurrency companies to decentralize their business model to become what's called a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. Now, with a DAO, in order to distribute the governance, right, to be able to vote on the direction that the company goes into, they have to have a vehicle that allows people to gain access to those governance rights. How do they distribute that? Well, one of the ways is by saying that if you own this cryptocurrency token, that gives you X amount of voting power in the direction that the company actually goes in to be able to vote on proposals and submit proposals, kind of like how the government has proposals that people vote on and all that stuff there to decide on the direction that the company goes in. However, everything is on the blockchain, so it's all transparent and there's no wishy-washy stuff to know if something actually passed through or anything like that. And I firmly believe that the government should switch to the blockchain, but that's a whole different type of conversation that we won't dive into right now because this is about crypto and not politics. Now, there's also other use cases to where we can tokenize different things, right? We can now tokenize real estate. So what does that look like exactly? Well, let's say somebody has a house and they want to tokenize that house. They can now fractionalize that house so that they can sell portions of that house. So a $50 a piece, a share, if you will, of that house, so they can actually distribute the ownership of that house to a bunch of different people, and then they can actually vote on what happens with that house. A good example of that is a protocol called Lofty.ai, Lofty.ai, built on the Algorand blockchain. Something I've looked into for the last couple of years, and it's still running strong. So you can look into that if you'd like. Now you can also tokenize carbon credits, right? That's another thing. That really there is no limit to the value that you can add into those cryptocurrency tokens, and that's where the actual price potential comes in to separate it from stocks. Because when you own a stock, there's one point of demand: speculation on whether the company will go up or down. With cryptocurrency, there's 2 points of demand: the demand of people that actually need to use the token in order to be able to actually perform actions within a certain application because they need the token to interact with that decentralized app or company to have the governance rights. And then there's also the speculative demand of people that just want to buy the token to be able to have the price potential to go up. So since there's 2 points of demand with crypto, I believe that this will shed a light on things in the future to show how much potential there really is for price potential for cryptocurrency, because it's 2 points of demand versus 1 point of demand. Obviously, that's just something I think about in my head. But anyways, yeah. Now, the next thing I want to go into is the question of what's the big difference between these different internet types of currency, if you will, versus cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. So what really separates it from Delta Sky Miles, World of Warcraft Gold, and Fortnite V-Bucks? Well, the first thing I want to point out is that when you hold Delta Sky Miles points or any points like this here, you don't actually own those, right? You don't own those at all. The company holds a record of how many you have, and then it just sits inside of their centralized database. So then we just have to trust them that they're not going to take away those points, that those points aren't going to expire, that they're always going to hold the same value. We just have trust built in there. Also, we don't know what the code looked like on the back end for that. How many Delta Sky Miles points are there in circulation? How much World of Warcraft Gold is there that can be minted in the future? Is there a limited supply? All of this information is not data that we have. So that means that these could never actually be assets that people could invest into because there's too much uncertainty around what we call the tokenomics or the economics of these points. Now, when cryptocurrencies are built on a blockchain, we now know exactly what the supply is for these currencies, which is very important because price is supply and demand. And if we don't know what supply is, how can we speculate on what potential price will be? 50% of what allows us to make that prediction is completely wiped off the table and is not transparent. We don't know. So that's why these on the left side could never actually be real vehicles of value for us to utilize. Now, that's really the whole thing there, to be honest with you. There's just no transparency with these on the left, so we can never use them as actual assets. And the other big thing that I already mentioned is that you can't hold these in your own wallet to custody it. You have to hold it with them, which means that if they shut down your account or anything like that, then you're kind of SOL. And I don't mean Solana. That's shit out of luck in case you're... Anyways, so that's the big difference between cryptocurrency and these different things here. And I believe we're going to start to see a shift in loyalty rewards points starting to move towards cryptocurrency. It'll be interesting to see how businesses implement this over the next 5 to 10 years, but we're already seeing Starbucks start to do that. Starbucks already launched their NFT loyalty rewards project called Starbucks Odyssey, if you want to look into it. So that's pretty much everything I want to talk about with cryptocurrency. The main thing I want you guys to take away from this is don't look at cryptocurrency as what the world has wanted you to believe that it is. At the end of the day, cryptocurrency is a new tool for businesses to use within their business model to solve problems that were never previously solvable and to create a better relationship between them and the consumer. Okay? And it can also drive a new source of revenue for their business as well. So that is pretty much it for diving into cryptocurrencies. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, or you just want to engage with us inside the Discord, please go down into the link below and check out our Discord community. We'd love to have you in there. We have some brilliant minds inside the crypto space, and they're always happy to help out. The Web3 space is very collaborative and very welcoming of new people because we have to be, because it's a pretty small community compared to traditional finance. And we all have to work together for this space to come to fruition how it's meant to come to fruition, because it is decentralized. And when something is decentralized, it means all of our help is needed to make it actually work. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention is that with these cryptocurrencies, you're able to use them to go and place them in different areas to earn passive income on those cryptocurrencies because the space is decentralized, right? So that's like staking Ethereum. That's like providing liquidity to different platforms that need liquid funds to be able to provide the service that they promise to provide to the end users that are the customers of their platform. They don't just go get funds from a bank or like a market maker like they do in the centralized finance world, in the traditional finance world with like the stock exchange and stuff like that. They get that liquidity directly from us. And in order for us to provide that liquidity to them, we need to actually be incentivized for it, right? So that allows us to make passive income with cryptocurrency so that while you're holding your crypto, you can also earn passively on that crypto, which in the early stages of this crypto boom, it's important to be able to hedge against the potential downside of crypto while earning more crypto while you hold that crypto. So a good example of this is if you're earning 100% APY on a token, well, at the end of the year, you're going to have double that amount of token. So if that token drops by 50% in value, you still have double the amount of tokens. So your net value is still the same. You guys see what I'm getting at here? So there's a lot of little tips and tricks that people that are well educated in the crypto space are implementing that are only in the decentralized finance world. And I can't wait to dive more into that with you guys. But before that, we're going to dive into NFTs in the next one.